Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. And today we have voiceover because once again I boobed at the beginning and did not turn my mic on the correct setting. So howdy doody from the editing side of things. What we're going to do today is play with some found wood and random gifts that people have given me to work with. So this lovely little piece of found wood came from one friend. She saw like a dragon's head or an animal's head of some such from that sort of angle there. I was seeing a woman's body. Now she gave me two bits. So the first one I'm still working on as I'm editing this one. So I'm not going to say what that one is just yet. I turned that into what she saw it as. And this one I'm going to turn into what I'm seeing it as. And the long piece of off-colour doweling up there, this is a gift from another friend. It's actually a blinds rod, you know, one of those things you turn, it'll like tweak your blinds up and down. So I started to have a practice run to see, because I weren't too sure what I was going to do originally with this lady's body. I was thinking air drying clay, but I've been doing a lot of air drying clay lately, so I wanted to mix it up a bit. So I had a little practice run. That little piece that you can see that's already whittled, that was my practice leg. So yeah, I'm about to hopefully the voice will work on this. I'll let my camera do its talking and fingers crossed it works, and if not I'll be back. So this is the piece of gifted wood. How cool! Now, where I'm seeing a woman's body is I'm seeing belly button, I'm seeing the top part of one thigh, part of the other thigh, part of a breasticle, well, one breasticle, that's what I'm seeing there, and bottom, back, hip. So I then drew this as my idea. So this was the piece of wood initially. So I've got to make two legs, some arms, shoulder, another breasticle, and a head. And potentially a little baby. Stick baby. Yeah, that's my wall of to-do. So yeah, I was given this. And I knew it would come in for something. And a few weeks back now, because I've had several other projects going, I thought I'd try and start whittling a leg, because I was coming back over here going to make this out of clay. Well, I've been doing a lot of air drying clay lately, and I've got a few more air drying clay projects. So I was like, I can mix it up here. So I had a little go at seeing, if I can get that in focus, if I could whittle a leg. And it's not too bad. So I thought, before I go any further, let me get the camera rolling so I can start sharing this. Otherwise I'll have all her components and all you'll see is me stick it together. So yeah, that was my little test piece. It came out quite nice, so I thought before I go any further, let me start recording so you can all see what I'm doing and how I'm going to create this absolutely beautiful lady. I can say that because I've seen the finished piece now. Like I said, this is editing Jax right now. This is just the first part. After this part of initial just whittling the legs, we'll be back to running dialogue, because that's where I realised I boobed and fixed my boobery. So yeah, what I've also done as well, just to let you know, is a little bit of editing and a little bit of speeding up so you can see some of the whittling in process. And yeah, the cocktail sticks, as I just gestured with my hands, they're going to be fingers, because I thought I can do sort of very, very simple hands with no digits whittling, but there's no way I'm going to whittle fingers. So yeah, I happened to look over at the cocktail sticks and thought they'd be perfect. So they do get used. Pardon the creak. So yeah, I do a lot of speeding up just to get through it, because this video would go on for like 2-3 hours if I didn't speed it up. So I've sped it up so you can see what I'm doing in portions, and just a bit of casual editing in other bits where it's like rinse and repeat. Or if I'm just sweeping a load of my whittling chips away. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna have to keep talking to a degree for you all, because this is going to be rather silent if I don't. But this was fun. And I did try to be, well, I successfully got through all of this without cutting my finger once. So that was really good. Really, really good. Because there's always a chance one slip is all it takes. And I can't remember if I mentioned later on or not, because I'm only in the first part of the editing. But your body and the universe tends to give you one warning. So if you slip and your mind is saying, you're going to hurt yourself in a second, just stop. Stop and readjust. Because if you continue, chances are you will hurt yourself. I didn't have that during this whole whittling process, thankfully. I think I might have done once and I repositioned. But I have done in the past. When I was at college, I was rather foolishly, whilst dismantling my exhibition, was using a pair of scissors to hoik staples out of a chipboard. Now, I was young, and whilst I'm relatively intelligent, everyone's prone to a very dumb moment every now and again, and I had a very dumb moment. I happened to be leaning right over the top, hoiking these staples out, flinging these scissors up towards my face, and my body and my mind was telling me, it's like, any minute now you're gonna get hit. But I persisted, and then I stabbed myself in the top lip. It was not the smartest of things, but also being not so confident back in those days, I didn't want anyone to know either. So all I did was put the scissors down. I went to the ladies. Miraculously, it didn't bleed a whole heap. It barely lumped up. I got really, really lucky. So I just sort of like cleaned it up a little bit, made sure everything was okay, made sure it, wasn't a major catastrophe. It wasn't. It was just like a flesh wound. It was a surface thing. And then went back to hoiking staples out with the board with the scissors, but not leaning over the top of them. So yeah, that's a good example of your body giving you a hint, and the universe giving you a hint. Is throwing you a bone, basically. It's like, don't do this. You will get hurt. So yeah, that's a good bit of advice. Try to be sensible whenever you're using something sharp anyway. But also, like I say, if your mind is going, this is going to happen in a moment, chances are it will, so listen to it. So yeah, back to the actual project. A little bit of rambling aside. Here we're really close to getting the legs finished. Yeah, just pop in a bend in the knee because that's how it's designed. And yeah, we should be back to normal now. I thought I'll try and stick that leg on. Oh my goodness. It's on there now. I tried wrapping the bands around it to begin with to hold it in place. It's held in with wood glue. And they kept slipping into the gap. I was like, okay, I'll get a peg. So the first peg that I pulled out snapped. I was like, okay, I'll get another peg. Wouldn't fit. So I was like, okay, back to the elastic bands. So I finally got it held together in a way where the elastic band isn't going to slip in any of the gaps. And she is chilling there, drying. So I'm not going to do anything else to her right now. What I will do, however, is start looking at cutting the arms out. Now, they're both going to be bent And there's a shoulder in both, so I don't know whether it'll be worth doing them separate, because it's going to be much smaller than this, so it's not going to be as sturdy as this when it comes to trying to cut it with an elbow piece. So I think we might go shoulder and upper arm and keep the elbow with that, and then do the lower arm. Let's just move this over for a second and start getting the brown off. Shooting far off scale anyway. Oh, well, that's made my job a little bit easier. I can be using this. Alright. Upper arm. 2 upper arms. What I think all I'll do right now is shave for the lower arm, and then I'm going to have to tidy up because I'm going to have to retire for the day. Now what we'll do is we'll look at angling these bits however we want them, but we have the length. We've been making progress. That's probably safe to come off there now. Now, what I've got is a hand in the making, a foot. We're almost there limbs wise. I'm thinking we will carve the shoulder region in, or the neck rather, because the shoulders are going to be here and here. We're going to see what we can do with the breasticle there, because that's going to need to come sort of in and around. So these are going to come like here, say. Actually, that one's a bit back. We'll have a look when we get to that point. I thought before I continue and get carried away, I was going to do 1 foot and 1 hand, so then I could show you me doing 1 foot and 1 hand. Now I'm going to try and do the reverse of this foot. It hasn't got to be perfect, but it has got to be foot shaped. So let's try and do that, but this way. Now to try and do the other hand. Exactly the same as I did that one. Let's see if we can. Right. 2 little hand bits done, 2 little feet bits done. And the fingers were nice and easy, courtesy of a cocktail stick. So I should put those there, this here. So I know that one's to go with that. So all I did was took part of the tip off. So let's do thumb first. So thumb. Now the middle finger. Let me not get these muddled up actually. We'll do little finger next. Little finger. Index finger. And then middle finger and ring finger. So yeah, fingers nice and easy. To try and build a neck piece in, that's going to be a bit tricky. Because we're a little bit wider, so I might need to put 2 of these bits together and bring them in. Now it's also going to be tricky. I started to sort it out here because I need to bear in mind that we've already got shoulders. So we're not going to want to come too far out. what is going to be tricky is the breasticle. So I kind of want to I could probably get the other leg put on, though I don't know how I'm going to hold it in place. And we have got to take a fair bit off. So we could either go for a very slither, so we need it about there. So I am going to glue that there, maybe gluing this in, and then we'll be looking at what shape we need here. We've had a little bit of progression in between the last shot and here. Now I'll get the camera phone on these in a second because you'll not want to see them. I have two little tiny hands put together, and the lady is starting to take shape. I managed to carve a respectable breasticle out based on my design over here on the wall. That's about right. It's a little bit lower than the other one, but she is a bit sort of angled down that way. So what I'm going to try and do now is glue her arms, or her upper arms at least, in place. I think I'm going to need to glue those on first and then these, so I can get them exactly where I need them. Oh yes, and I also put a little head together, made from 3 pieces, and a little face. So let's try and get the arms put on. And I'd also started on a little baby. That's the head and body. I'm going to do the arms and legs separate. So let's try and get these on. So I'm not going to be able to band these in place. Oh yes, I'm probably going to coat the whole thing in resin to protect it. We'll see, 'cause these fingers, I will get my camera up right now to show you actually. They are so tiny and so delicate. Let me hold that still. Hang on, watch hands more. There we go. Beautiful, but so tiny and so delicate. So I'm gonna have to find, definitely, I can't stop wibbling. There we go. Definitely gonna have to resin them to give them a bit more stability and security, because I don't want the fingers to fall off. So yeah, what we can do right now though, because I'm going to have to ignore her, is get baby off of here and look at making some little tiny arms and legs. And they are going to be very tiny. Yeah, something a bit like that. All hanging down either way. That's one little arm. And I'll do one little leg so you can see. So, foot time. Oh, tiny foot. Okay, she is finished. I have completely covered her over the past few days in UV resin. So she is 100% protected, 100% not going anywhere, and 100% more stable because she was held together with wood glue basically. And I thought she was dry. I'd left her for 24 hours. And when I stood her up like this, she slowly started leaning forward with the weight of the baby. And the glue started to separate from the knee and the ankle, especially on this side. Well, yeah, this side, because that's all one, apart from down there. So I thought, well, that I was going to do it anyway, but it adds extra protection, extra stability. And now she's not going anywhere. She's solid as a rock. And yeah, I really like her. To say she was just from a couple of gifted bits, actually 3 gifted bits technically. This was gifted found wood from one friend. This was originally, well, all these bits started life as a blinds pole that happened to be made out of pine, and it was perfect for whittling away at. That was gifted from another friend, and this is actually one of the struts that supports a bed. We're probably going to reconstruct the bed at some point, and I have since cut up 2 or 3 of them. So we may or may not be putting that bed back together. We'll see. We'll see. If we do, I might need to go out and find some more struts for it. But yeah, she is gorgeous. I do love her. She's got a little simple face going on there. I didn't want to make it too complicated or too obvious. I just wanted a subtle distinction of a face. I do think the baby is super cute. I really do. Not a big one for throwing the cute around too much. And I do love how her hands came out. They came out amazing. Good use of cocktail sticks there. I'd have never been able to... I could have done hands like this, obviously, but I would have never been able to make them look that good. The cocktail sticks were genius for that. So yeah. And the found wood comes up amazing under the resin. I need to fill in a little bit. I might come back to it and fill in a couple of little bits. You can see them. It's gone in, but it's not. The rest is kind of built up. I want her to be as protected as possible so she can just live forever. So yeah, that is, we'll call her Mother Nature for now. Little bit cheesy, I know, but until I can think of something better to call her, that's what she's going to be. Though you watch, the title in this video is probably going to be something completely different. But yeah, I hope this has given you some ideas of things that you can do with just random objects that you either get gifted, just bits of odds and sods around the house that you think have no longer got any use. See if you can make a sculpture out of them. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what you can come up with. And it doesn't even have to end up being something like this. It can be even more abstract. It could just be all put together in a funky way, sprayed, coloured. There's so many things you can do. So yeah, that's that for this little adventure. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.